technically, if you actually do just want to get married, it doesn't cost that much.
I did another marriage, and I realized the husband was going through a lot of mental trauma, and he committed suicide. You had an issue with the bride,
Right.
and the bride is saying because you were rude to her, so she's not going to pay your balance.
The run is a lie. It's a
You
lie.
single ladies, whenever you say clock it, please do your nails. Some of you guys don't do your nails. You look like staplers do like this.
I didn't see that coming.
Please do your
I didn't know what I was gonna
nails.
say at all.
FYI, do your nails. Clocking always makes sense when you have a very polished, nice nails. It turns a lot of guys
Thank God
on.
for
Trust
polished
me. But if your nails are not working, you look like two.
Hello everyone. Welcome to Wedding City Podcast, a podcast that talks about wedding dramas, relationship dramas, and we're here to solve relationship problems. I'm your beautiful host, Abby, the media goddess, and with me, I have my millionaire here, my co-host, Larry Foreman.
I think I need to correct you about something. It's
Why is
not
that?
just millionaires, billionaires.
Oh, I'm
You
sorry.
have to
I'm
be
sorry.
very bucket, that kind of stuff.
My co-host, billionaire.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. Now, when Abby emphasizes on drama, know that it's not just anyhow drama. We're talking about a drama that when you investigate about the source, the whole thing that happened that caused it to become a drama, your mouth are gonna go, ha. How do you feel as a person, either as a vendor, a client, and get yourself in a situation whereby you get unpaid for a service that you know that you've learned for years, you've become an expert for years, and at this point you're not paid because of family problem. You produce souvenirs,
Right.
for the client, and you realize that at the end of the day you had an issue with the bride,
Right.
and the bride is saying because you were rude to her, so she's not going to pay your balance.
The run is a lie. It's a lie. If I have to bring my whole streets to come and beat you, you pay me.
So you're going to
my
take it on
balance.
violent?
No, first and foremost, if I'm going to do any job for you, you have to give me a deposit. I have to
Okay.
give a deposit at least 50 or 60%. And then that 40% will drag it.
And I feel like in our modern day conversation in terms of how you get married and planning the wedding, I've done a lot of weddings in my life as an MC. And what I realized that a lot of clients, modern clients, old clients, people want the aesthetics of their wedding to look glamorous.
Wait, Larry, not to interrupt.
Yeah.
You're an MC, right? You're a wedding MC, right?
Yeah,
How
yeah.
would you feel if you MC a wedding, right? Based on this story that we're talking about. And, you know, the wedding after a week or two, everyone went their separate ways. How would you feel if you weren't paid? Or have you been through that before?
Well, I'm going to go. I've been there.
You've been there?
Yes, I've been there.
I want to hear that.
I really tell you the story.
I can't wait to hear that.
I will really share this with you. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Wedding City Podcast. Please take a nose straight, a breath away. We'll be right back. Please remember that this time, the gist and the drama is about to get really fled. Thank you. We'll be right back. One thing I want to tell people is before you plan a wedding, please ensure you're in love, you trust the process, and you check your account. Do you have the money to push what you're trying to plan for?
Right. I feel like in 2026, I feel like those are the blueprints of the things that you need to look at when you're getting married and you want to do a flamboyant or whatever, a wedding. You know, you need to make sure like this is the person for you, and you need to make sure that you're financially stable or financially ready for it. You know, like our last episode, those couples, you know, they wanted 12 people. They had 12 people. Not that they didn't have the money for it, but that's what they wanted.
Culture
But
code according to
you had the
size.
money. Right, exactly. Culture code according to your size.
For me, I think where we're going to be going to in terms of the next level,
Right.
we're going to be watching a video whereby it talks about some a lot of vendors in the wedding industry has fallen in that trap. And I feel sometimes it's your loss.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing you can do.
Huh?
You getting married and realizing that all you did, the hard work. I've been in a ton of weddings, and I know how hard it is
Right.
to be around that situation.
Yeah.
Only for you to realize. I've been in a wedding and 2 weeks later, the bride called me and told me not to post anything. And I asked her why. She said, I just realized that my husband was using me for a green card.
Oh.
I did a wedding, and 2 months later, the husband called me and said, this was not an open marriage. It was a consecrated marriage.
Right.
It was a closed marriage. I realized my wife was a lesbian. Yes.
Plot twist.
It was a plot twist. I did another marriage, and I realized the husband was going through a lot of mental trauma, and he committed suicide.
Oh.
Yes. I've been through a lot of downhills, uphills in terms of from the vendor side.
Right.
But one side that is very, very important is when you've worked for the success of this day to be happy,
Right.
and you don't get your deserved payment.
Your compensation, yeah.
It is heartbreaking.
It's heartbreaking, yeah.
And one thing that happened to me was I did a client back in Nigeria. I did a client's event. It was the most lavish wedding ever. They flew in the Banj, one of the biggest Afrobeat artists. They flew in some big Afrobeat artists then. And my wage for that event was less than $40 at the
Per
time.
hour?
No, not per hour. The whole day. That was what I. That's
What year was this?
It was way back when I was in school. You know, I was in.
Oh, wow.
I was in university. I was trying to hustle. You know, and the guy couldn't pay me less than $40 because he said I spent so much money on this
Right.
project. And for me, I was so drawn to his story that I couldn't transport myself back to school.
This is the same wedding that they flew to Banj?
Yes. I stayed in someone's booth,
Right.
trunk, to get back to my house. That was how I was being transported, like a cow.
All right. The sacrifices you made in this career.
I got
respect you.
home 2 weeks later. The marriage broke. And I asked him, where's my balance? You know what he said? You can't get anything when nothing worked.
Oh, hell no. Excuse
Yes.
my language.
That was my
Oh,
loss.
heck no.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're about to watch a story whereby we're going to be seeing a different side of, and this time it's not me as the MC, it's a photographer.
Right.
You know, it's something that a lot of wedding vendors encounter
Right.
if certain things are not put in straight. And after that, we're going to be having professionals in law enforcement, wedding vendor. We want to look at the criminal offense. We want to look at love
Yeah,
stories.
from their different point of view, from their
We want to
POVs,
look at vendor eye. We want to
Yeah.
understand what it takes to be totally all-inclusive in this kind of business.
Right.
You know, so that's something I feel very, very drawn to, and I'm really happy we're talking about this.
Okay.
So guys, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back. Please remember to subscribe.
Like and comment, and we'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Wedding City Podcast.
Joe was in private practice as a neurologist, and Chelsea was a dentist in a hospital. They worked not too far apart in the city, so they regularly had lunch together. Most times, Joe brought food to Chelsea because of her schedule. They were together for about a year and a half before they got married, but they knew they were meant for each other, so they started planning early on. Both came from wealthy families, and everyone was happy that their children were finally going to get married after some disappointments with previous relationships. The families would share the cost of the wedding. I overheard them say the total wedding budget was $262,000. Chelsea was totally in charge of the wedding details. I hardly heard Joe talk at all, except when he was on the phone speaking to somebody. This wedding was one of the best organized that I have ever shot. Everything was on time. There was one strange thing though. Something felt weird about Joe's attitude following the ceremony. He didn't look happy. And since wedding videos are all about the expressions, reactions, and emotions on the faces of the newlyweds, I couldn't help but notice. I had only met with him twice, so I didn't know him well enough to understand why he looked so unhappy. I tried to cheer him up so he would smile for some of my shots. I usually cut off after the newlyweds give their final word, thanks to their guests, and I collect the second installment of my payment before I leave for the night. I get the remaining payment about 2 weeks later after I've delivered their video. 2 weeks after Joe and Chelsea's wedding, I called for them to come see the final footage and to check for any type of corrections before closing out our contract. I left messages for 2 days with no answer. Finally, after several days, Joe picked up. I greeted him enthusiastically. Hey, I want to tell you that you did a great job all through the wedding from beginning to the end. I had been a little worried when I couldn't reach him, but now I felt some of my concern fade away. But then he continued, I have some bad news. Really? What's that? We broke up, he said. What? Joe, be serious. I am dead serious, he said. We ended it on our honeymoon. After you spent all that money? Yes, after we spent all that money. Guess how much we spent on the wedding? How much? $262,000 in total, said. My dad was very angry about the whole situation. What happened? I guess the best thing I can tell you is that it just wasn't meant to be. Chelsea was having a relationship with someone else. She's with him now, and she's going to have a baby. Whoa, it's a long story, but I'm moving out west, trying something new, he said. I sympathized with him, but I didn't know the part he had played in the breakup. I'm sorry for your loss. Thanks, don't worry about it. Could have been worse. God knows it's for the best. Anyway, you've done your job, and you need to be paid. Right, okay. Our parents signed the contract with you. I guess you'll have to finish it with them, he said. I sighed and realized I had more work to do before I would get paid. It was sad that Chelsea and Joe had broken up. They had seemed like a great match. I wondered about the emotional toll the breakup must be taking on everyone. At the same time, I had to wonder, was anyone going to pay me my money? I called Chelsea's parents to ask for the balance. Her father was mad because he put the bulk of his money into the wedding of his first daughter. Young man, I am not sure if you've heard the news, he said. I pretended I hadn't. Marriage is over. We will not need the wedding video. I was conflicted. I felt bad for him, but I needed him to understand that I had done my job, regardless of what happened to the couple. Before I could say anything else, he said, go to the groom's family for your balance. I tried to get hold of Joe's mother, but her phone was switched off. I went back to Joe, who told me paying the balance would be a waste of money for him. Getting no further response from anyone, I gave up trying to collect my fee. I still have the video. I am more aware than ever that it's not the amount of money you spend on your wedding that makes it a successful marriage. That requires love, understanding, and being mindful and conscientious of everything happening around. That day, I realized something profound. Money doesn't buy forever. A wedding isn't a guarantee, but a true marriage is. Love, trust, and commitment, those are the real investments. And for vendors like me, pay us, because even if your marriage lasts a night, our work lasts a lifetime. So before you say, I do, ask yourself, who's going to pay me? Because the cost of a wedding is nothing compared to the price of regret.
Welcome back to Wedding City Podcast, and we have two lovely guests today. One is in the law enforcement environment. He's a counselor in the correction office, and he has counseled a lot of inmates who has mental issues. And also, we have our beautiful Desiree here, who is a event vendor. And welcome, Mr. Samuel. Tell us a little bit about what you do, and tell us a little about counseling inmates and how does that impact your career?
Okay, so my name is Genaro Samuel. I'm a married father of two. I've been in the field of law enforcement for 25 years now, on the state side as well as working for the sheriff's department now. My job consists of first maintaining custody and control over the facilities to make sure nobody gets away, to keep the surrounding public safe. I enjoy my job very much. I have a 24-year-old son, so a lot of the inmates that I come across are youthful inmates. They just need direction in life. So I provide that father figure, big brother figure to some, and try to just give them some keys to life to help them get on the right path.
Yeah, you're doing a lot for this.
That's deep, bro.
That's really
Thank
good.
you so much for your service.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you so
Love
much.
that.
And for me, I just want to ask you this very important question before we go to Desiree herself. For you, you work in a very time-consuming job.
Yes.
Very time-consuming. Yes. And I know how sometimes, do you ever have this back and forth with your wife?
Yes. As a matter of fact, things have gotten better. Like I say, I've been married over a decade now, but we dated 10 years before we got married. That's a story for later.
What?
10 years.
10 years?
No. Just 10 years straight before we actually set the date.
Were you guys going to school during that 10 years?
Actually, when I met my wife, she was actually going to Prairie View and A&M. She was.
Oh, I see.
And at that time, I was working for the state at the time.
All right.
Long hours, 12-hour shifts.
Oh, I see.
So it was a lot going on. Didn't have the finances at the time.
Oh, yeah.
And it was tough. The hours, made it real tough.
Yeah. and after 10 years, it was trying to figure out how work and balancing the family was a thing, right?
Correct.
But you already knew that you were going to marry her. You knew she was the one in that 10-year span.
Yes, I knew she was the one.
When you did your wedding, at any point did you owe anyone?
Actually, little small bills, not much. You know, hospital bills, which you never really pay back. You know?
Yeah. You write it off.
Yeah, but I was pretty much in a good place for us not being in debt. Just needed to put some money to the side because I was still paying bills, and after being together 2 years, we had my son. So I had a lot going on at the time. So fresh fatherhood, working, wife in school. So just a lot going on. So initially wasn't able to. I really wasn't even thinking about marriage for the simple fact, my mom and my dad was common law married, and they, back in those days when I was coming up, people stayed together forever,
They don't get married.
The actual marriage was like just a piece of paper, pretty much, because back in those days, if you love a woman, you stay with that woman.
You're certain about it. Yeah, you do it. Mm-hmm.
So I came up and I seen true love. So I was like, my mom stayed with my dad. They was together forever. So what I need to go out here and do this for? But when I met my wife, she was like, nah, buddy. I want, I want the whole. Most women want the whole marriage experience. But
over to you, babe. Do you think that people are spending crazy funds on wedding?
150%. I think weddings have stopped being about the wedding, and it's now a spectacle. I think it's now a whole production.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't make people take loans out to do weddings now. People owe vendors, and those things don't make sense because your wedding is actually just a couple of hours. I mean, I've never been married, so I don't know like the excitement that comes with planning your wedding. Maybe that's how people, want to put all their money into it.
But you're a vendor. You do a lot of events.
Yes, and I've never, and I thank them for their money. Bless them, thank you. But like, I've never understood when people say that, because you hear most of the weddings I'm exposed to are like Nigerian African weddings, and you hear people say, I can't do this now because we don't have enough money, we don't have this, we don't have that. And technically, if you actually do just want to get married, it doesn't cost that much. Get food, feed a couple of people, get your certificates, do what you need to do, and go about your day. And I think that also now feeds into like the content culture of weddings these days. So everybody wants to have like their wedding trending. So to have your wedding trending, you have to spend
Social
times
media.
10. Yeah. So now you have 4 videographers. You have 15 people. Like,
Definitely. I feel like in weddings,
it's
a lot of they've
lot.
added more departments to that now.
Too
Now you
many
have
more.
So
content
do you want us
Too
to?
many more.
Do you want to?
Photographers,
Do
all
you,
of
do you want
that.
to? Do you want us to put the wedding in a demograph and say African weddings or African American weddings or?
I would say African and
Caucasian
Indian weddings. I would say African and Indian weddings. They're probably the most flamboyant wedding in the world.
Funny enough, Lebanese are even more flamboyant. I
Are you
think it's a
serious?
world culture thing at this point. I think
Really?
weddings have gotten to the point where it's a life event. Like, it is a major life event. Like, even content creators build their platform off the piggyback of I just got married. Like,
Yeah.
I'm getting married attracts anybody of any race, any culture, any country, all the time.
When do you think it's okay to spend to be lavish?
When you think it's okay?
Yeah, you are materialistic. I know.
Yeah, because my
That's
answer
question.
was going to be, as a person, be lavish anytime you can be lavish.
And
If you have money, spend it.
Okay.
But
Genaro,
Yes.
when do you think it's okay to be lavish as a man?
Well, actually, I feel like my wedding was lavish.
Okay.
Yes, and the budget was $10,000.
okay.
Wow.
Oh wow, that's
But
big.
my wife, luckily she has a lot of good friends that was hands-on, that knew how to do different things for us, decorating, helping with stuff like that. But the funny thing is that my wedding was actually a surprise wedding. I got married on my 40th birthday, so all the people that didn't come to my birthday actually missed out.
Oh,
Yes.
that was a trick.
Yes,
that's
yes. So
Surprise wedding, huh?
yeah,
What's that?
yeah. I mean,
So
it was awesome.
for
though.
you, if you can vividly remember everything you did at the time with $10,000, what was the most expensive vendor?
I would say that, between the vendor And the feeding, we had a budget to feed 250 people.
So catering.
Yeah, we were right here in the Third Ward area.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Groovy Mansion Grill. If you guys ever heard of that, I don't know. I don't think the location is even still there anymore. Right. We actually had a comedian. Yeah, someone that my wife went to school with.
So, did you pay the comedian?
Yes, we paid him $500.
Okay.
How long ago was this?
This
don't mind
was
me asking.
2016. So our anniversary is next month.
Okay.
Feel like I missed. Oh, the actual venue.
Right.
So the actual venue was like $6,000. Like with everything.
So you're saying the venue was more expensive,
right?
and feeding was second expensive.
Well, no, the feeding came with it.
I was gonna ask.
This was a package.
It came with the venue.
Yeah. So
Usually the food will come with the venue.
Everything comes. Yeah.
What about decoration?
No, my wife and friends, they actually came and they decorated.
Sweet.
But we had some a guest speaker to actually sing for my wife, a young lady that sung very awesome. She sung a Anita Baker song, and it was awesome. So that was a treat. She did that for free. But it was something else. For the photographer, very good photographer. Got so many pictures. That was about $1,500, $2,000 for the photographer. But all in all, everything came out to about $10,000.
And while you were at this wedding, right, and you're thinking to yourself, did you at some point had a moment and thought, okay, is this woman worth it? Like, do I really want to do this? Like, is this what I want to get into? Like, do I really want to get married? I mean, do I really love this person? I mean, because you're thinking about it, this is $10,000 debt. Like, that's a lot of money. $10,000 10 years ago?
No, the $10,000 wasn't debt. This was like paid out.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But $10,000 debt to you. Yeah. That's coming out of your pocket.
No, I knew at this time, because you have to understand, we were together 10 years before.
Before that?
Yeah, so before marriage. So I reinvested. So it was just about when we were going to actually do it. So the first time when I first met my wife, we met 1999. It was Juneteenth at a mutual friend's party. At the time, I didn't know her, but a cousin of hers and my brother, that's a year older than me, were dating. So I came to the party on the way home from TDC, driving home from Livingston, and stopped at the party. And it's funny how things work, because I did not want to go. I was so tired, but my brother was like, "Come on, man, come through." It's this young lady that's with Tiffany, which was his girlfriend at the time. Come to find out, they wind up being cousins. And didn't know it all this time. My wife and Tiffany.
Every one of you are cousins.
Yeah. So I went, and she wasn't in a good mood. She was down, and come to find out, the previous relationship before me, it was it's kind of rocky. She was about to end a relationship with the guy she was with, and so she wasn't happy. And I'm a chipper person. I love to make people laugh, and that's just a thing about me. I'm able to. So I said, you know what? I want to make her laugh. I want to just kind of make her night, So I got to talking to her, making, my little goofy jokes, and then I got her to smile. Once I got her to smile, I was like, oh yeah.
Oh my God.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? That's a decade down the line.
Yes. But it was, it was awesome.
I love the story. For you, Obey, hearing Genaro talk about his $10,000 wedding. Do you think, as an African, $10,000 is lavish
today?
In today's time.
Okay.
Remember, it was over a decade ago. Yeah. That's 2016.
Yeah.
Do you think at 2016, $10,000 will be regarded as lavish as an African?
In America or in Africa?
I was gonna say.
Let's start with Africa first.
A $10,000 wedding.
What do you think the exchange rate will look like? Like, it was about
$10,000. How much is that? That's about
14 million, 14.8, I think.
Really?
Yeah, about 15.
Personally, wow. I think that's lavish.
It gotta be lavish, yeah.
I think that's lavish.
In Nigeria?
Personally, my personal thoughts. Because like I said, I really think a wedding does not need to be...
This is not the wedding that we're using monarch, Abby.
Exactly, no. I think that's already lavish. But the thing is, I think with African weddings, we've lost sight of even the value of the money we're spending. Sorry. So now for people who see that same 40 million and be like, that's chicken change now. You've not even started. You've not even booked hall. You've not even bought this. But I think that's a lavish wedding. I think that's a big wedding.
When I did my wedding, I spent 25 million. Yes. When I plan people's wedding in America, and people, and this is far back as, when I did my wedding was far back as 2021, thereabout. It was 25 million naira. And in dollars will be about, let's say, $20,000 thereabout. But it was a very, very luxurious wedding.
Good.
Back home, right? But in today's time, when I hear how much vendors put in for wedding, we're talking about $70,000.
Wow.
$100,000. The minimum you can use and do a successful wedding as an African now in Houston will be about $50,000. That's the barest minimum.
Wow.
The barest minimum. Because if you were to factor halls, we're talking about halls from 5,000 upwards.
Right.
If we factor food, our culture has diversity of food. Food alone can take about $15,000.
Right.
Yes, and the reason why we're looking at it, what was your crowd, your guest count? About, let's say,
You said 250.
Yeah.
250.
Yeah, but you gotta understand, it was a surprise wedding, so everybody didn't show up. But I wanted to make sure I had the ability to feed 250.
So let's say
So
about 200.
about 150 showed up.
150,
Yeah.
which is for 150 as an African, that's very, very intimate.
Yeah, that sounds a very
That
intimate
is
wedding.
a minimum wedding. You're looking at 300, 500.
Oh my God.
If it's back home, traditional weddings, 800, 1,000. That's the kind of people you fit.
Right.
So looking at what she's talking about is, and this boils down to culture and tradition. Cultural events require a huge number of people because you have to appease to the bride's parents and also the groom's parents.
Right.
But in this case, the bride is the one responsible for traditional wedding. The bride family, that's the traditional thing from Africa. Which is Nigeria in particular. The bride's family usually be the one to, handle it. I don't know how it works. Probably you guys are not used to doing traditional events. You guys go straight to the white. It's a natural American style. But if you were to look at yourself right now in this modern time, and you were to do like a vow renewal, what would you think will be your budget? Telling you what Africans are spending now. What would be your budget?
Vow renewal?
Yeah. If you were to do it, what would you think your budget look like?
Let me see. Probably dinner. So what is that? About a couple $100?
Yeah.
I know that's right.
I was literally gonna
Dinner.
ask
I mean, she
you,
has the-
like,
the
okay,
ring,
spend
she has
25 million. If
everything.
you could get married again, would you bring out 25 million, or would you bring out the
Yeah.
equivalent of 25 million in
Never,
2026? Right?
In
It's a lot of
2026,
money.
Why am I spending?
For wedding
But
vows?
because of, and this is it. The moment you've never married before and it's your first time, you might think you have your senses. You might think you know what's right.
Yeah.
But trust me, family reasoning covers your own 100 times. You have no senses to yourself because everyone is excited. Everyone is elated. Everybody wants a vendor that he or she can't afford.
Yeah.
I've seen people use credit card to pay for services. And I told them, I'm sorry, I don't take credit cards.
Right.
If you don't pay cash, I'm not taking.
Everyone want their wedding to trend.
You know,
in order for your wedding to trend,
and
you pay for that.
for me, looking at it, she talks about the highest rate of divorce comes out from lavish and
The most lavish
flamboyant
weddings. Yeah.
And law enforcement. So I think I did pretty good. No, really, y'all look that up statistically.
Yeah.
Law enforcement has the highest divorce rate.
Oh wow.
I guess, like we said before, because of the hours, and then also, you're working longer hours with the people you're with. And, because I'm actually at work more than I'm home a lot of times. So, the work wife, work husband, that's a real thing in America. But I mean, I don't know anything about that. That's not anything I do. I just,
Now, for you as a person,
Yeah.
And this question is for both of you. At what point do you draw the line?
when it comes to,
Planning your wedding. At what point do you draw the line? Your
monetary
wife
wise.
wants a dream wedding. We men are not built on dream weddings. We're built on let's get it done.
Okay.
At what point do you draw the line?
To me, it all depends on where you're at in life financially. So if I was able to give my wife $1 million wedding, I would do it if I could afford it.
Do you think you're gonna do it knowing your person? I'm talking to you as a person.
If
you could afford $1 million wedding, knowing you as J. Samuel, would you do $1 million wedding?
If I had Michael Jordan money, I would give my wife $1 million wedding.
I know that's right.
And he's a billionaire, right?
Yeah.
So
you're gonna do it.
So
Yeah,
10 years
of
down
course.
the road, you still feel like you would give your wife $1 million trillion wedding?
I know that she deserves it. So if I was financially able to, but I say that because I'm the kind of person that think that, I know that we only live once. So when you put that in context, what will you really do for your wife? Right? So, of course, I would do that if I was financially able.
When men say they will do anything, spend anything for their wife, what do you think why do you think they say that? Is it because of the loyalty or the years of suffering? Why do you think men say that?
I feel like
I don't know. Like when I just want to hear from a woman's perspective.
You're not
I'm
helping
gonna
her.
take this
There are
down a
two
different
single
path.
ladies here. You can't
No,
put
wait.
suffering
I just want
and
to
marriage
know.
together.
No, is he
Like-
years of suffering before he makes it a big man?
Right.
Because
that makes you want to spend.
Yeah. Do you feel like it's the loyalty? Do you feel like it's the time spent together? Do you feel like
It's the
just-
suffering.
do you feel like it's the love? Do you feel like it's just the
I feel like
sacrifice?
I feel like it's sacrifice because I know the type of woman she is.
Yeah.
The things that she did for me when we didn't have this.
Right.
I feel like
She suffered at
if
that
you
time.
make if you make a certain amount of money, you have to think about, okay, you might be a person that paid $1 million in taxes, depending on how rich you are. So if you can pay Uncle Sam $1 million, why not give your wife $1 million?
Yeah, I don't think it's necessarily just suffering, because like it's not every couple that starts from grass to grace, right?
Okay.
You can meet a fully
Yeah.
made man and he still wants to spend a lot on you. I think it's cultural. I think it's a general world culture where man is protector, man is provider, man is giver, and it's expected. I feel like it's part of the way men are raised. That one I wouldn't even know as much as men would know. They know growing up that when I do decide to get married, that person is my responsibility. I feel like that's why I hear men saying, I don't want to get married yet because I haven't made it yet. I haven't made enough money. I'm not as financially buoyant as I need to be. So I think it's just out of responsibility, out of I think they just feel like this is what is expected of them. Because if you ask most men that I've met, even the men that don't make money, the men that make money, there's this mindset of, I'm going to have to provide for my wife. I'm going to have to give her what she needs. And then when now the love comes in is where they go out of their way, they go overboard. And I think that now shows where you don't have enough, but then you find a way to gather for this woman. But then I don't look at it the same way where you're already a millionaire. If you give somebody $5,000, I don't think you're sacrificing anything.
Exactly.
I think that's just what you're able to do. So I think it really just depends on the dynamics of your relationship.
And in my situation, when I met my wife, if she was here, she would probably laugh. If you guys want to know the first place I took her on a date,
Yeah, shoot, please.
to Jack in the Box.
Per.
What?
Yeah.
Do you know
Jack in
what
the
that
Box?
is right now?
We went to Jack in the Box and got some. You remember the tacos for $2 for
What's the
$99?
backstory on that? How?
I wanted to, I said, you know what? If I can take her to Jack in the Box and we can sit up and converse and have a good conversation, then I know this is the woman for me. Because you got to know it's not about the money.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Bro, do you know what that
Jack in the
is
Box?
right now?
Girl.
Do you know Cheesecake Factory is a big deal for some ladies? It's a no-no for some ladies.
Something.
What?
Yeah. I mean,
What?
Do you know that?
So that means I got to keep her then, right?
Yeah.
there's nothing out there.
Yeah. Jack in the Box.
Jack in the Box.
And we love telling that
I don't
story
know.
because at
Jack
the end
in
of
the
the
Box.
day,
Guys, listen. Let me make it. Let me.
Is this like a Cinderella story?
Wait.
Like,
Let me make it. Let me.
Are you here for me?
Let me make it more interesting
That's
in
what I'm telling you,
Nigeria.
it's
Like
like-
you take a lady to a suya.
Tantalizers.
No, Tantalizer is
No,
still good
Mr.
now.
Biggs.
Mr. Biggs is still good.
No, Mr. Biggs.
Listen,
Mr.
I
Biggs
feel
now.
like
Yeah.
with the naira equivalents to dollar, because $2.99 literally is 2K.
Okay.
What would he
So
get
like
to
the
you?
place, foodies.
The place or foodies or even suya. Say you buy 2,000 naira suya.
You can't even buy
You
2,000
not
naira
give the
suya.
babe and tell the
What's
babe,
that?
let's talk about our
7.76?
future.
As in, as
But
out.
here's the thing, I think when it comes to this particular thing of who would go, I feel like your wife already liked you and she just wanted to spend time with you.
That's
Yeah.
it.
I
That's
think
what
with
it is.
women, it
That's
doesn't matter what you're doing. If I like you,
Right.
let's go on a walk in the
Yeah,
park.
but if I like you, I'm
Like,
like,
let's
let's
just-
just Jack
That's
in the
it.
Box.
That's it.
But I mean,
Why?
I'm still,
What changed in your life? What changed? We are talking about something that will help our lives. Now you have come.
Let's hear it.
I'm sorry. Lovely story.
Hey,
Lovely wife.
hey,
I'll
Ajay.
take,
Yeah.
Hey,
I'll take Cheesecake Factory.
Now she's reconsidered.
You know what I
Cheesecake.
mean?
Cheesecake place sounds good.
this girl will not take you if she
Check
take
it
her.
out.
She
But
will
here's
insult
the
you.
thing: if
Yeah.
she's the sort of person that is not taking herself to Jack in the Box, I
Right.
understand her
I've
not
never
wanting to
even
follow
been
anybody to Jack in the Box.
I've
Yeah.
never ate there before,
Yeah.
so I wouldn't do it.
So that's fair.
I provide myself the luxury, so why not? So I get that you want to test the woman to know if she's the one and all of that, but don't test me in that environment.
Okay.
I will fail.
Okay, quick question. We need to round up this segment. Quick question for both of you.
Okay.
As a vendor and as a law enforcement person, do you think what are the okay, let me make it two questions. The first one is, what as a vendor or as someone that provides service, what are the things I need to put in place to ensure that I don't get people owing me? I don't get to be the person that people get to owe. And the second one is it a crime if I owe you and I don't pay you? Would I go to jail? So that's for you.
Okay.
And the other one is for you,
Okay.
Desiree.
So what do I?
For you,
So basically, it's all about the contract that you get written up. First off, I would that's the first thing I would tell you is to write up a contract detailing your services, what they're going to pay you, and all of that before you provide the service. I think she made a very good point when she said she would receive a deposit. A lot of time when people put their money into something, that more than likely they're going to follow through if they have money already taken from them. You know, so if you get $300 to $500 and I owe you 15, more than likely I'm gonna kind of follow through, because if not, even if I back out, I've already lost money. But in the event that you've already provided the full service, that would be more of a civil matter. Okay. So they wouldn't go to jail, because that's something between you and the person that y'all, whatever agreement y'all had, and you pretty much did the service based on you trusted the person. Or
would I go to jail if I owe you for money that I don't get to pay you, and the case is being brought to a law enforcement person?
now, if you go to the courts, which is civil, right? So the civil basically brings them to court. You explain to the courts in detail what happened, what they were responsible for, and throughout that case, when the judge favor with you and you win that case, and they have so much time, to get you paid, okay, they'll tell them, hey, you're wrong in the event, you need to pay him, and now if they don't pay after going to court, then there's going to be more either legal, even more fees, or even maybe a little jail time as well.
Yeah.
What about you, for you?
Those contracts. Yeah, that contract is the main thing. So a deposit before the event and final payment 24 hours before your event. I think that contract is very important. And most of the events I've done are in Lagos, where our judicial system isn't working enough for us to file a civil suit. So it is extremely important that you collect your money.
Exactly.
And if you don't collect your money, you don't have enough recourse to get. The options are few, right? You can either hire boys to go and collect money for you. Like you said,
that's
the
the
options
best
are
way
few.
to
So
do it
just make
nowadays.
sure you get that deposit and get your final payment.
Whatever you do, don't
That's
take
the
it to
only
court.
option, no.
Whatever
Because you can't
do, don't
take them.
it to
If you
court.
take them to station, it's the same thing. You're going to have to pay the police officers anyways.
You're not
So
gonna get
to even
anything out of it.
bypass that
You
whole
prefer
process,
the higher boys.
let's
Yeah.
just run
Let's do
it
it rough.
fast.
Yeah, I had
My
my
money
mind
go.
that his manager stole almost 10 million naira from him, and that's
What?
what he had to do. We went to court, and in the court said she needs to pay back $2 million.
Out of 10.
So he had another manager working for him for his real estate business, and that one stole almost $5 million from him, and that's because he stays in America. So that was the issue. And this time his friends was like, "No, we're not taking this to court. Go hire boys, beat him up, f him up, whatever the case may be." But he was able to get something back. But I think
justice.
Yeah, I think that's better.
That's what works.
Our judicial system
That's what works.
All right, guys.
Sucks.
Thank you so much. Desiree, I want to say thank you for being here.
Thank you. It's refreshing to have another single lady in the room.
Girl, I'm happy to be here.
You people, let me advise you, single ladies. Whenever you say clock it, please do your nails. Some of you guys don't do your nails. You look like staplers do like this.
I didn't see that coming.
Please do your
I didn't know what I was gonna
nails.
say at all.
FYI, do your nails. Clock it always makes sense when you have a very polished, nice nails. It turns a lot of guys
Thank God
on.
for
Trust
Wow.
me. But if your nails are not working, you look like two. But thank you so much.
Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome. Thank you for
so
having me.
much.
Thank
Thank
you
you
for
so
having
much
me.
for being here, Desiree.
And of course, ladies and gentlemen, this is what Wedding City Podcast is all about.
Yes.
We're live, we're fun, we're entertaining, we talk about every other thing. And of course, remember, don't forget to subscribe.
Like and comment, and we'll be reading the comments. We're reading, and stay tuned for our next episode. We'll be right back.
Wedding City Podcast, baby.
It's the Wedding City Podcast. Please subscribe, share, like, and follow. Thanks for watching the Wedding City Podcast Show.